All right, welcome everybody. I am Paddo, and we're back with another Bloodborne episode. I'm super excited to have Wagnozac with me, who has basically just been tearing up tournaments and kind of being the gatekeeper to the throne. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, Wagnozac.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be in this. I know that you got a lot of really good players, but so I'm really glad to be here with you.
Yeah, definitely a worthy guest. So, just tell us a little bit about like how did you get into CCG gaming, or how did you kind of find what led you to Duelyst?
Well, Duelyst is a game I saw it when it was on Kickstarter a while ago, but I didn't back it right away because it was really interesting, but I wasn't sure what it will be, and it wasn't planned to be free to play at the moment. And after that, I started to play other games like Hearthstone and stuff like that. And of course, I didn't really like Hearthstone because it was really luck based. You have, of course, you have some skills, but you have always some problem with RNG. And I was really getting really mad at some games, so I stopped playing that. And I was watching some Mogwai's video, and he basically made a giveaway for the game of Alpha Keys, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this game. I saw it already, and I grabbed a key like this, and then I started to play. It was like 2 months before the end of the alpha, and now I'm still in it because I like it really much. Really good game.
Yeah, well, I'm
So
glad you enjoy it, and Mogwai kind of seems. I'm sure he'll be a theme going forward of people, kind of like as we talk about like the game starting small, and now we're in open beta, which is exciting, and more players are kind of coming in. We're gonna see probably a lot more guys coming in through that kind of
yeah.
lens. Um, so what deck do you currently main on the ladder? Like, what's kind of like your go to these days?
Actually, I'm playing like a crazy lot of Vetruvian. That's what I played for the last tournaments as well. When I started Duelist, I played mainly Songhai, but then it was because I couldn't play Vetruvian yet. I did because Vetruvian is a class which costs a lot to play. Like you need to have a lot of cards and pretty much expensive cards. Like if you watch my hand right now, I have 3 picks already. So I wanted to have a really good Vetruvian deck, and so I started to play that after when I got basically cards and stuff, and now I'm really enjoying it. It's really my favorite class.
So, seeing that Vitruvian's like your favorite class, what do you like about Vitruvian? Like, what is kind of like Wagnozac's style? Because I know it's definitely a different flavor coming from Songhai, especially. So, what is it about Vitruvian that you like the most?
With Vetruvian, like what I like a lot is at first what the style. Like I mean, I will not play a class that I don't really like the style, so it may be a bit strange, but the art and everything in this class are really good. I really like that, but that has nothing to do with the gameplay, but that's just to start with that. And then my style of playing right now is controlling, but is a sort of control Vitruvian, but not too controllish at the same time. I mean, it is not mid-range because, of course, I can win really early with crazy combos if my opponent overextend or stuff like this. But overall, most of the time, it's just waiting, controlling the board, and then bursting the opponent with 15 damage combo. To do that, you need to have some late game, but not too much. That is a bit strange, maybe, but that is the best way for me to describe it, I think.
Yeah, so it's kind of like buying time for your kind of like your finishing blow. So it's all kind of like set up around like get them to this state and then finish essentially.
Exactly, exactly. But as you may have seen, it is really easier to do that on ladder than on tournament because players play around all of what you can do a lot more on tournament than they can do on ladder.
Yeah,
And
so that's actually a pretty good point that I think a lot of newer players, especially if they kind of watch these tournaments and like they compare like the ladder and the balancing of the game, like ladder and tournament is very very different. Do you want to like talk a little bit about like what the difference is and what you think about going into a tournament versus just hopping on a ladder? Like what makes a good ladder deck versus a good tournament deck?
mm, yeah, there is some different. Like the first one is your opponent in the current format. Your opponent will know what you are playing, and he will he will adapt to the class you are playing. That is not the case in later because you have to build a deck that will be good for every faction because you don't know what you will be facing. So that is a really big difference because you can build a deck to specifically beat another deck, and that is often the case. Do I? Sorry, I was spelling out for the game. Yeah, that is the main difference because your opponent will really try everything he can to to make a deck that will beat you 100%. Um, in later, your deck mean to be good in every aspect against every class. It may have weaker matchups, but you need to be able to beat everything and to go up. That is really what changes stuff. And in tournament, player will be a lot more focused and careful about what they are doing than they are in the later as well. So they will play around your stuff a lot more, I think.
Yeah, definitely a lot less gimmies or mistakes that
Yeah,
you'll see.
exactly.
Yeah, and also, so with that in mind, like, also, what other since you've gotten pretty good at this game pretty quickly, what other kind of what would be your advice to new players?
My advice to new players would be like first of all, try to play only one faction, but um, do not destroy everything to play this faction because I know that a lot of new players will go into the game and say, "Oh, I like this faction. I will disenchant all of my cards to get this faction." That's not what you should do. You should try to get one faction you like, play it a bit, and then try to you need to play a lot to see what is playable and what other players are doing. It is really important if you're new to the game because you will not be able to understand the game if you do not get beat by the game basically. It's a bit strange maybe to say it like that, but you need to know what is the meta, and if you play, you will get a better understanding. You doing that, you will be able to progress and to know what card to craft maybe, or to to disenchant that are really not good. But you shouldn't just put everything. You should play only one faction to begin with to learn this faction really well, but not destroy everything else to play this faction. You should always keep ready to play other stuff because the meta can change and suddenly you don't like your faction or stuff like that, and it can really discourage you if you do that. If you don't have other cards, I see a lot of people complaining on the later that the money system is not that good and everything, but it's actually a really good system, better than the other card game we have right now, like Hearthstone. It is the best contender, so I think the main point is to play a lot and to keep your card together.
Yeah, so you mentioned a little bit about play to the meta on ladder, and I've actually seen that question come up a lot from new players where they're kind of like oh like I run into Mechazor a lot or whatever, but if you're playing the ladder recently, you're probably actually running into more Vetruvian as of late, thanks to guys like you playing in these tournaments. That kind of sets the meta a little bit. What would you say like now if control of Vitruvian is what you're going to run into a lot? What do you think is good against that, and does that factor into your play as well? Obviously, since you're a Vetruvian player, you know you're probably going to run into like semi mirrors. How do you plan for that in your decks?
Yeah. Basically, for mirrors, I get Vetruvian when I play Vetruvian, because I do not only play Vetruvian, but the main point is really to. It's a bit strange to say that, but it's basically who got the most silences and get the best placement. Um, because you will need to silence big stuff like this. And I actually really recently added some cards in my decks because, as you said, more veteran. Like this card, Entropic Decay, I didn't have it first, even in the later, because people were not playing a lot of Vetruvian, a lot of big minion faction, and I started to struggle a bit because of these cards, of these big bodies that were coming from Vetruvian, for example, and so you need to adapt your deck every time. My deck is not stuck in ice. I change it like every time I feel like it, and often it's maybe every week or stuff or something like this. I don't know. This one is pretty solid, so I don't change it a lot. But when I have a new deck, I change a lot of it, like crazily every day. I change stuff like until I feel satisfied. You need to do a lot of testing with your deck, but against Vetruvian, you just need a better placement and try to capitalize on the mistake of placement of your opponent, like with Stars Fury and all. Always keep a card like this in your hand against Vetruvian, because uh, you see he has a lot of stuff already. But I think that is the main stuff you should do.
So, if I came to you and I was like, Wagnozac, you now have the ability to make one change to Duelyst. You can make it could be like a mechanic, it could be a card, it could be anything you pretty much want.
Yeah,
what would be your change?
my change. Maybe it will be a bit strange, but it will be a change for me for what I call, like, since some time, the best card in the game, and it will be to Holy Immolation. That I think it's really, really crazy. I think I would make it like just to not damage the general, because it's so strong. It should be used to control the board, not to destroy your opponent face. And right now it's doing both. So I don't like it at all. Yeah, that's it. That is a change I will make.
That seems like
Pretty
actually like a
sure.
pretty reasonable change. You know, in the next few patches, you know, if they ever make that change, I'll be like Wagnozac right here on Bloodborne. He was the guy, the visionary to fix everybody's problems with holy
Yeah,
immolation.
I know that there's a lot of people wanting to nerf it more than that, like wanting it to deal damage only if you heal your creatures or stuff like that on the forum. But I think it's a bit too much. It wouldn't be played. Um, Actually, it wouldn't be played in the way Lionel is played right now. Um, but maybe it will be played in another way of playing Lionel. But right now, I think there is really an issue with this card because actually, like I made the calculation last time, and if you are Lionel and you just have 3 Tempest and 3 Holy Immolation in your hand, and you play that, you just do basically you kill your opponent with just that, like 21 damages from nothing, while keeping big minions because you heal them and stuff like that. So I think it's a bit too much, but that's my opinion. You know, I know some people would like to nerf it a lot more than that. So,
Yeah, I mean, and I think the important part too is I like how you actually pinpoint what you feel like, because a lot of people be like, a lot of the jerk reactions to nerf cards is like, take it out of the game, or you know,
yeah, that's
basically
right.
make it not playable, and you're actually keying in on like, hey, this is why this card is actually a problem. It's not that it's more board clear. It's like, hey, it's actually just helping kill opponents way faster than it probably should for what it's meant for.
Yeah, that is really the issue I have with it. So if it doesn't hit the face, I'm fine with it.
Yeah. So, you've been actually. I mean, I'm sure for you, you'd rather be more successful and have won the tournaments, but you've, for most intents and purposes, been pretty successful. That you've been pretty consistent. You've been always up there, challenging for in the finals and stuff like that. Uh, do you like what is your strategy for preparing for a tournament? Because you've been really consistent with the decks that you've come with. What do you think has been like your key ingredient to performing well?
Hmm. I mean, yeah, I would like to win the tournament now, but yeah, um, what I do to prepare, there is two main things. Like, first, I make a deck that will be really good on later. Like, I tried a lot to make this deck. We made it at the start with Piepius Batus, who came third in the tournament. We're actually friends, and we made the deck together at the start. And then I just tweaked it until I feel like I win almost all my match on the ladder. And I take this deck and I start to play it on tournaments. First, it was a test. I didn't know if it would work or not. So I try it like this. Just how it was made. At this time. There was like artifact into it and all before the nerf, so it was quite some time ago. And then I just try to adapt it for every matchup I will face. Mm, that is how I do it. That is how I did it for now. Every time I made my deck, and then I try to adapt it to what I will play against. Like if I play against Songhai, I will put like tons of heal into it because else I will get destroyed. If I play against Leona, I will usually start with the basic deck because I don't know what kind of Leona he will play, and then I will try. I think actually this deck is really good against like Il Leona that is really popular on later right now. Um, and yeah, so that is how I did it for now. It works. Maybe I hope it will continue. Maybe I was just lucky, but I hope it's not the case.
If you had to guess where you think the meta for tournaments is gonna go for maybe the foreseeable future, maybe not like next week or whatever, but like 2 weeks down the road, where do you think decks might go if it's not the current state it's in?
Right now, Um, it's kind of hard to say because you can see that Jazz is like dominating every tournament. So like we are way to go to reach him because we cannot defeat him for now. So he's really good and is every time he's bringing something a bit different and really interesting because he's thinking about new ways to play the game. That is really interesting. Like the deck he bring against me, I knew what kind of deck it was, but I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't adapt well. So for now, I think right now the meta is really controlish because there was quite a lot of nerf to the rush deck because basically the rush deck where burn decks are before. So now I think the meta is a bit stuck into this kind of control way of playing, but I hope it will there will be more option open for aggro with the new cards they added, like how it's called,
So
Mogwai and stuff like this. They added that, and it's really good. So I think this is more option to play a bit more aggressive, and so more mid-range deck may come out. Oh fuck, I'm dead. Yeah. Oh guys, I'm
no,
dead. Yep.
no, we're so close.
Yeah, I know.
The epic matches.
I'm not too focused. I may have done a lot of of mistake on this match. I don't even know.
It's
But
okay. I
like
don't blame you.
basically, I'm sad. I didn't want to lose one. Okay.
So unfortunately, that's it for this portion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I leave you on a loss, but otherwise,
Oh
great
no, it's okay.
insight and knowledge, and I'm sure I actually had a lot of fun just listening to your thoughts on the game. So definitely, we'll hop into something else after this. But I want to thank you for being a part of Bloodborne, Mike and Zach. Any
Well, thank you for inviting me. Like, I didn't expect it at all. Like, when you contacted me, I was like, when you said me, hey, I was like, oh, Pado is contacting me. What's going on? Okay.
do,
Right, really, thank you for
yeah,
having
do
me.
do you have any shout outs? Actually, I want to give you a chance. If you have anybody out there you want to shout out to for helping you play or get into the game or anything like that.
Yeah, of course. Like, I want to shout out to Mogo for getting me into the game, for giving me a key. I really love this guy. He's really amazing. And also to my friend Pupis Batus, who is like helping me to do my deck and performing well. Even if every time it seems like we are getting like in semis or in some match and I beat him. Sorry. Yeah,
Well, with
that's
that
it.
with that again, thanks a lot for being on the show, and I look forward to seeing you play in the next tournament. Hopefully, winning.
I hope to.